Who doesn't love a delicious bowl of soup on a cold winter's night? Today we're going to be making this yellow pea soup. So let's gather our ingredients and head to the kitchen. I have 2 chicken breasts. I've removed most of the fat from them, and I have seasoned them with just a little bit of salt and fresh cracked black pepper. And I'm going to get them started in the bottom and get a nice color on them so we can start building our flavors. I don't want to over brown the meat. I just want it to get a nice sear, and then it's going to start to release some juices, and we're going to go ahead and build the color on the meat, which is going to ultimately translate to flavor as we make this soup. Okay, so I think we're ready to give it its first turn. You see how that beautiful color is starting to build on the bottom of the meat there. That's exactly what we want, and also on the bottom of the pan. So while the chicken is browning, I poured my peas into a bowl. This is 1 pound of yellow peas. I prefer the yellow ones to the green ones. I just think they have a nicer taste, and I also think the color's a little more appealing. And I'm just going to run my fingers through them, and what I'm looking for here is anything that may possibly look like it doesn't belong, because this is a natural product, and just like with rice or any other kind of natural product that's harvested from the earth, you could wind up with a small stone in there. You could have some fibrous twigs, and in this case I'm pulling some holes out, and I'm just going to discard those, and then I'm going to wash these peas and I'm going to set them aside until we're ready to use them in the soup. Chicken looks really good. We've browned it on all sides. If you find that all of the surfaces aren't making contact, just go ahead and give it a little encouragement, because you really want to make sure you get some nice color. Look how nice that color is. And more importantly is the color on the bottom of the pan. So I'm going to take this chicken out now because, like I said, I want to start building my layers. And I want to go ahead and start the next step, and that's going to be to get some vegetables in the bottom of this pan. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of just a simple vegetable oil. And I have diced all the same size, some celery, some carrots, and onion. And I'm going to start sauteing them on the bottom of this pan until they get nice and soft. And let me just show you. We're going to start with the carrots, because the carrots are the most dense vegetable that require a little bit more cooking. And normally when you're cooking vegetables like this, you want to cook them just until they start to get a little translucent. And all that color down there on the bottom, that's all flavor. So don't feel like you have to clean your pan out. In fact, you don't want to clean your pan out. You need all of that to build your flavor in your soup. There's the celery. And I want to say that I have, okay, so as far as the carrots go, there were 3 medium-sized carrots peeled and diced. That was 5 stalks of celery. And now I just added 2 medium white onions that have also been diced. And I'm going to let them get a little color. And I want to go ahead and salt them now a little bit. This will also help them to wilt and cook down. When I say they're going to get color, they're not going to get color because they're browning. They're going to get color because as their juices release, all of the color on the bottom of this pan are going to transfer over to the vegetables. So we're not looking to brown these. We just want to saute them. We want them to start to naturally release all of their moisture and cook and get nice and soft, and then we'll go on to the next step. While the vegetables are sauteing, I'm going to get my ham bone ready. So this is a ham bone that I actually had in my freezer. It is leftover from a family dinner. And what I want to do is I want to get to the bone, really. I'm going to reserve some of this meat because I want to put some of it back inside the soup when we get to the end. But just get a bowl over here so I can show you what I'm doing with this meat. And I'm just going to get down to the bone as much as I possibly can, because this is kind of big and the whole thing is not going to fit back inside the soup pot. So I'm going to continue to remove meat from this bone. I'm going to go and check on those vegetables, and then we'll check back in and see how things are going. The vegetables have been cooking for about another 3 or 4 minutes. They're not browning, but they are definitely getting soft, and that's what we're looking for. And you can see on the bottom of the pan, we're starting to get a little more color. Okay, so this is perfect. And now, this is super simple. All I'm going to do is put back the chicken, and I'm going to add that ham bone. There's that ham bone. I think I was pretty successful at getting most of the meat off of it. And I'm going to put the chicken back in here. And then I just have some water. And I'm going to turn the gas up now. And I'm just going to add enough water to cover all of the meat. And don't be afraid if you over cover it. That's okay, because as it cooks, obviously it's going to cook down. And that's it. It's that simple. The only other thing I'm going to do before I turn the gas to medium and allow this to simmer for a little while is just add 2 bay leaves. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is just allow this to come to a soft boil, and then I'm going to turn the gas down, and I'm going to allow it to continue to reduce. I want it to reduce by 2 inches. That's the best way for me to gauge where we're at with flavor, because until it reduces, I won't really know how much more seasoning, if any, it needs. Broth has been simmering for about an hour and a half now, and I've kept an eye on it to make sure it didn't reduce too much. And we've lost about 2 inches here in reduction. That's exactly what I'm looking for. You see the line where we started versus where it is now. And so I'm just going to go ahead and remove the ham bone. And you can see that a lot of the meat has cooked away, which is just what we're looking for. And I'm going to take the chicken out. Now, this chicken, I'll remove it from the bone, and then I'm going to cool it in the refrigerator, and during the week it's going to make the most delicious chicken salad or even chicken sandwiches. So you definitely have another use for this meat. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a small mesh strainer, and before I add the peas to this soup, I want to remove some of these whole vegetables, and I also have to remove the bay leaf. So I'm going to take probably about a cup, and the bay leaves are not edible, so discard them. But I want to keep about a cup of these vegetables because I want to add them back when the soup is all finished, because I like a little bit of texture in my soup. So these are the peas, and all I did was, after I picked through them before and made sure that I didn't have anything in there that I didn't want, I gave them a quick rinse just now, and I'm just going to add these into the soup. So it's actually been about an hour, and you can see that the soup has thickened tremendously. It's cooked down more, and the peas are just about falling apart. So we know that it is time to go ahead and mash everything up. One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 cups of water to this, because the peas have caused it to thicken a lot more than I wanted it to. And because it took so long for the peas to cook, I actually lost a lot more broth than I intended to. So the flavors were intense, way more intense than they needed to be. And I also, needed to be a little bit looser before I go ahead now and pulverize it. Now, at this point, you could use your blender. If you have a blender, you can put this in a blender, blend it nice and smooth. I actually have an immersion blender, and I'm going to go ahead and use that. And this does a really great job of purifying everything that's in here. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's it. It smells delicious. And I just want to grab a spoon real quick, and I want to give it a taste before I go ahead and add back the vegetables and the ham, and see if it needs anything. Wow. That is really good. Really good. I don't think it needs anything at all. So let's go ahead. We're going to add that 1 cup of ham from the meat that I took off the bone, and I've diced it, and I only have the ham. I made sure that I didn't get any extra fat or anything like that. And then we reserved about 1 cup of the vegetables before, because I like to have a little bit of texture to my soup. You certainly do not have to do this part if you don't want to. Also, if you wanted to, you could add some of that chicken back. That's completely up to you, but traditionally, a ham is used when you're making pea soup. And remember, we were trying to cut back on some of the sodium, and so we decided to use a combination of ham and chicken to make our broth. I just think chicken is so versatile, and it lends itself to so many different flavors without screaming, hey, I'm chicken. But when you taste this soup, you definitely taste ham. You don't get a taste that it's chicken soup at all. And that's it. So we're going to get this in a bowl and garnish it up and give it a proper taste. So there you have it. Our yellow split pea soup made with chicken and ham. And you see I've topped it here with just a few croutons. And you can use homemade croutons if you'd like, or you can just use the store-bought kind. That's completely up to you. But right now, I need to try it. That is so delicious. So creamy. The yellow peas bring a different flavor to it. It's not as harsh as a green pea. And the addition of the chunky vegetables give it a nice texture. It's velvety smooth. And then you get those little bites of ham and carrot and celery. So go ahead and get in the kitchen and give this a try. It's perfect for a cold winter's night. Make sure you check us out on social media. We are Aunt Susie's Kitchen on Facebook, Aunt Susie's Kitchen on Instagram, and of course here on YouTube at Aunt Susie's Kitchen. Make sure you come back and see us again, because there's always something good cooking.